One Saturday, August 2026. Absolutely gorgeous summer's day. 25 degrees. Decided me and Monty would take a trip to Arundel for the day. It's not far from home, so we thought we'd go in style. Not that we'd paid for it, but you know, hey ho. Monty kept an eye out for the guard in case we had to make a quick dash. Anyway, within 10 minutes, we're at Arundel station, so let's start heading towards the town. It's a fairly lengthy but picturesque walk from the station to town. But when you arrive, it's always lovely to see that commanding castle looking down over the town, especially on a day like this. The River Arun was looking splendid. I think Monty likes to take a swim in this river every day, just 10 miles to the north. Arundel Post Office, 131 years old. Town centre was looking splendid. It was also very busy. But that's not surprising. Alright mate, you nearly knocked the camera out of my hand. Where was I? Oh yeah, lovely weather, so it was always going to be busy. Well, it was thirsty business getting here, so me and Monty decided we need some libation. We'll have a little drop in the Red Lion, one of many great pubs in Arundel. A nice cold pint of Cornish Rattler really hit the spot. Well needed. In fact, it was so good I had two, as you do. Suitably refreshed, we decided to leave the comforts of the public house and make our way up the high street, lined by its lovely quaint shops. Spotted a happy couple on their big day. It really was a nice day for a white wedding. You see what I did there? The castle was originally built by the Normans after their successful invasion in 1066. It was first made of wood and then replaced by stone, and what a bloody good job they made of it, as 1,000 years later it's still here. By the time we got to the top of the high street, it really was starting to get really hot. We then decided to visit St Nicholas Church, which was built in 1380. The church caters for two congregations, both Anglican and Catholic. The Catholic nave end is privately owned by the Duke of Norfolk, also the owner of the castle. In the grounds surrounding the church is a large sequoia tree, supposedly planted over 130 years ago. Maybe it was planted the same year they built the post office. There are also many gravestones, most dating back over hundreds of years. St Nick's is a lovely church with some very peaceful grounds. And some quite amazing statues, this being one of them. Anyway, it was time to leave and head over the road to the cathedral. Originally built as a church, construction was finished in 1873. It was not until 1965 that it was actually granted cathedral status. The St Mary's Gate Inn came into view. Anyway, more about that place in a minute. According to the information board on the way in, Arundel Cathedral is a great example of French Gothic architecture. It is quite stunning. The prominent rose-shaped stained glass window at one end really is quite something. Arundel may not be on the scale of other cathedrals around the country, such as St Paul's, Canterbury, Exeter, but nonetheless it is still quite something to see. I personally am not a man of religion, but I always admire the grandeur of the many churches and cathedrals that I have visited. But I am a man of history, and that's one thing these places are steeped in. Arundel Cathedral is well adorned with statues and carvings as you'd expect, and of course also its elegant stained glass windows. Having again built up quite a thirst, me and Monty took the decision that we would go in St Mary's Gate Inn for a drink and some lunch. And as the sign outside said, that decision led to another great decision, picking this beer. It really was quite exceptional. An absolutely lovely pint. Some fella in here really was a bit obsessed about rhubarb. I don't know what his problem was, but he most certainly got Monty's attention. Really can't beat a good day out with my best mate. I know, I'm a big softy for that dog. I decided I would indulge in the seafood platter for my lunch. Yeah, and Monty insisted that I share some of it with him. He claimed most of the mackerel pate. Suitably fed, watered and rested, we left and headed back past the cathedral again. Whilst eating lunch, I received a message from some friends who had also arrived in town. They wanted to know if we would join them for a few drinks and put the worlds to right. Of course, it would be rude not to. At least it was all downhill back into town. Parsons Hill and then King's Arms Hill. Of course, at the bottom is the King's Arms pub, Arundel's oldest. But we didn't have time to stop for a drink.
What are you doing?
Monty decided to admire some more of the architecture. We passed some of Arundel's colourful cottages, as well as the Swan Inn, historically Arundel's coach house for weary travellers. Caught up with the fellas to have a few more pints and finish our day in Arundel. So it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from him.